Welcome to Two Readers, No Filter, a podcast for people who love books and have a lot of opinions about them. If you ever finished a book and need to talk, you're in the right place. We're like a book club, but better. To the lake we go. I am Claire.
And I'm Cameron. Welcome back.
Thank you for joining us. All right. We are going to get right into it.
No talking.
Yeah, no, I think we have a lot to discuss within this.
Most of my personality for the past week has been this anyways.
So the topic of today is going to be Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. It was published May 10th, 2022, and it is romance, technically classified as a contemporary fiction, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
But anyways, and we will be comparing it to the screen adaptation. It's a TV show located on Prime Video, and it's called Every Year After, not Every Summer After. So if you're looking to find that, just know that there's a word switch there. And it was released June 10th, 2026, so this year. Directors, if you care, there was like a bunch of directors for different episodes, so I guess they kind of divided and conquered theirs. And also, if you are thinking about it and you haven't watched the show and you're listening to this podcast saying, should I will throw out there that a second season has been confirmed already with the second book released, One Golden Summer. This was confirmed, I believe, June 27th, so not too long ago.
Wow.
And yeah, and it's going to be focusing on that book, One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune again, and it's focusing on Charlie. So if you're interested, there's that as well. So you still have time to get on the bandwagon and then wait for that, because I don't think it will be released until like 2027, 2028.
Yeah.
But we are going to be answering, what did the show keep, change, or take out? Is the show better than the book? Is it worth the hype? Should you watch this? Should you read this? Should you take it off your TBR? We're going to be answering those questions today. And as always, we are about to discuss the entire book and show, so there will be spoilers ahead. You have been warned now.
Go.
So leave. Get out of here.
Get out.
Go. Okay, so just a quick recap for the book. The story starts with a 28-year-old Percy who receives the news from Charlie, a childhood friend and brother of her ex Sam, that his mother has passed. He asks her to attend the funeral and she accepts, ignoring her hesitance and excitement to get back to Barry's Bay. Once in Barry's Bay, we are following along her journey in the present timeline and flashbacks in the past to explain how the friendship and romance started, bloomed, and abruptly ended. So let's get into the specifics. First of all, did you read or watch first?
So I read this, I think a year ago first, and then I started the show and was reading the book again while I was watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
I read it first and then watched the show because something about me, I can't handle spoilers. But all right, let's get into major plot changes between the book and the show.
There are a lot.
That's kind of how I felt. I was like, what didn't they change? I feel like didn't they change would probably be a shorter list than what they changed.
I mean, that's why my note is so long.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like,
I mean, within the first 5 minutes, it was different.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she opens up at Chantel's engagement party. She's saying a speech, and then she goes home with this guy. None of that happened in the book.
Nope. Because the book started out her getting the call.
Well, she got home, and then she got the call.
And then she got the call. Yeah. That, and Chantal, I mean, that was a huge, like, difference. Is her, Chantal, Delilah, and Geordie were, like, had a way bigger part in the show than in the book, which I thought was interesting. Which I kind of liked Delilah's character. I liked her being there because, like, you know, they grew up together and they had all this, like, history, and then she started out kind of mean, and then, you know, they became friends or whatever. But that was so different in the book, like why they stopped being friends and everything. Like, I don't know, I thought that was interesting.
One thing about Delilah, did you notice that did you ever watch Sabrina the show?
No.
Never mind.
Was she in it?
Yes, she was Dorcas, if anybody watched that. I did, and I kept saying, oh my gosh, she's so pretty, she looks so familiar, and I couldn't place it, and so I looked it up, and I was like, oh my god, Dorcas? Like, what?
Yeah.
But that show was kind of like creepy and weird, so it gave a different vibe where, like, she was very much like money, privilege, look good, feel good, like whatever, and then in that show she was literally a walking nightmare. Yeah. So a little bit of a different vibe.
Definitely.
But I agree with you. I think that Delilah's role was a lot stronger. Geordie's role was a lot stronger. And Chantal, or however you say her name, was a lot stronger as well. And I was kind of annoyed at the beginning because I just thought it was, in the TV show, I thought it was more demeaning that she did it with a friend. Like, you're almost 30 years old and you can't handle going back by yourself.
I know.
So to me, that just felt unbelievable. Where, like, in the book, as much as she was, like, annoying and just felt very a YA character, at least she handled it by herself.
Yeah.
In the show, she was like, oh my God, this is my emotional support best friend. And also, why did Chantal feel like she needed to put legalese into every single conversation?
Because that's just how lawyers are. It's their whole personality.
Objection. I'm like, why are you...
Like, they need to make it known that they're a lawyer. So that's why she did that, I'm convinced. But Percy and Sam were so annoying. Like, oh my God, I literally, looking at Percy, I wanted to punch her. Like, she could just be silent, not doing anything.
She looked like an off-brand version of Love from You.
Yeah, my God.
I was
did.
like, Love ran so that you could walk. Because Love was
so that you could snail
character.
Or turtle.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
I know. And I really like the actress, so I feel bad, but I can't decide if it was the directors, all of them.
I think it was.
Or the writing, or it was
too.
just like a role for her to play.
And towards the end, I kept noticing her accent coming out. And so I was like, is she British? Like, because I've never seen her and she's British or from British? The UK or something. But like, she kept saying like, Barry's Bay. And I was like, girl, I know it's tough. But I found Sam to be much more awkward in the book.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's because I was listening to it in audio form occasionally too. Like the way the narrator would speak in his voice, it just like portrayed him as being very awkward, which I think is how it was supposed to be. But he was just annoying in the show.
Yeah. So let's pause here. Let's start in the show in the flashback.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when we're talking about the characters right now, we're talking about the adult versions, but I almost want to explore like going back. Baby Percy, Baby Sam, Baby Charlie. What were your thoughts?
I've always loved Charlie and I always will. He's my favorite. Because I read the other books, so I just know how he is. And so that doesn't help like going back and reading this because he's like I have a whole different perspective. So I love Charlie, but that's not a popular opinion if you only watch the first season or read the first book. But Sam, forgettable. I don't even remember anything noteworthy from him. Like, I mean, he was ugly as a child, which is good. I'm glad they didn't sexualize Sam or Percy. Like, it was very modest, but that's the director's doing. But like, personality-wise, what did you think?
I loved the actress for Baby Percy.
I wish she could have just stayed.
She was so cute. I actually thought that it's a shame that HBO just picked up Harry Potter because I think she would have been a bomb Lily or Ginny.
Yeah, Ginny.
Mm-hmm. But she's too old now.
Mm-hmm.
So like if they started this a bunch of years ago, like she could have been. I don't know. She was the highlight of the flashbacks for me with Percy in them.
I feel like she didn't last long enough.
She was so cutie pie, yeah.
Like we jumped to being the old versions with a braid in her hair, but too soon.
Which that was hilarious that they were like, no, she's young now, braid in her hair. I was like, that doesn't mean that she's just automatically younger.
I don't get that.
But also that's why all of us think that when we wear braids in our hair, we're like, oh, I feel 12. So weirdly on brand, but okay. What I was going to say, I actually thought the same thing about why did they switch actors so soon?
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that in the book, they started sexualizing at 16. And so I think that to protect the actors that were the younger versions, they had to switch them out. So once I thought about that fact, I respected it very heavily. But I do think it was dumb that it was like, oh, I have a braid in, so I'm 16 now. Girl, what? You still look 30. Going back to like your version of younger, like Sam and Charlie, I first of all love young Percy. We've addressed that. Young Sam was so awkward looking. I was laughing because that's exactly how he was portrayed in the book.
Yeah,
he was awkward. He wasn't really put together. He was not the confident brother.
Yeah,
the actor that portrayed Charlie.
I wish they could see your face.
Yeah, that's not how I pictured young Charlie. I thought of him like when I read the book and I pictured young Charlie, I pictured him as like a Justin Bieber type.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? as like a cutie boy, not like this. Kind of gave Roderick from Diary of a Wimpy
God,
Kid.
yeah, it did.
And he gave us scary. Why
he
did
was
he
creepy.
give scary?
It was like,
but in the book he wasn't creepy.
He wasn't.
I loved Charlie in the book. That's why I'm very excited to read the next one. So I didn't love the young actor for Charlie. I thought that Charlie deserved better, especially when you knew that they were going to do the second season. Why'd you do him like that?
I don't know. But
anyways,
I do like young Percy.
Yeah.
Can get behind that.
Exactly. And I think the younger version of themselves, I think they stayed to the story pretty well.
Yeah, I don't remember anything being that different.
I remember, and this was something that I had a really big problem with because I was so excited to see this scene when Charlie kissed Percy.
Oh, yes, that scene.
This is where I thought he was giving Roderick. Why are you scary?
That was so Roderick.
Precious Percy, the sweetest little girl. Did you see? She like puckered her little lips and everything. Protect that girl.
But in both the show and the book, Sam still pissed me off. Samuel.
Full name.
I actually despise him. He might be one of my least favorite, like, male main characters.
I fear that you and I are going to agree.
Okay. I was worried you were about to be like,
I hate Samuel.
That scene, especially when he was like just sitting there. Do something. I know you're awkward, but you guys are like supposed to be best friends or whatever, and you're not even gonna say anything, and like you'd rather just let your brother come and smooch her.
So in the show he didn't though.
Yeah. But like he still didn't do anything.
No.
He still just sat there.
I liked how he left abruptly. I think that was done okay. I think it was fine because I think that Sam is a little bit more sentimental. So I'm going to disagree with you here. I thought that was fine. The part that screwed it up for me during this scene was, first of all, Charlie was an absolute about it. And in the book, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
He was like, Percy is so pretty. Like, why wouldn't you kiss her?
Yeah.
Fine, then I'll kiss her. And then kissed her. And like, he still did feel bad because he didn't realize it was her first kiss and like he shouldn't have done that. But also at the same time, like he was actually cute with it. And like, obviously he was teasy and flirty, but that's his personality. But like, you're going to look at me and tell me that if you went back and you read this book right now, every single time Charlie interacted with Percy, he was flirting with her. So like, you cannot tell me that this just was out of nowhere. Like Charlie was like, you're not going to kiss her? I will.
She's cute. Why not?
She's adorable. And she's like sitting there. And of course, Charlie's like, she wants you to kiss her. Like, so I hated how this was portrayed in the show because I think it did Charlie so dirty.
It did.
And I think that like, anyways, we'll get there. So other than that, with like their younger versions of themselves, I didn't really have any problems.
Yeah, because I feel like that kiss scene was probably the only like real difference.
Yeah. Because after that,
then it was
honestly, I think it has to be because after that, remember Delilah was getting dressed up for the party and she was talking about being hot. And so she was the adult version versus the kid, which again, respect.
And then didn't they like go and get ice cream and they were all together?
Yes, but that was their adult version.
Yeah, the adult versions. Yeah, because then that's when they started sexualizing.
Bouncing back into Percy getting to Barry's Bay in the TV show, Chantal was not supposed to be there. Geordie was not supposed to be there. Although, love Geordie. I love Geordie. Yeah.
Why are the side characters better than the main ones?
Yeah. Because I would have eaten up just watching Geordie go around Barry's Bay the whole entire time.
Geordie cracked me up.
He was so funny.
Like when she first got to the motel and then now we'll get there. But there were just some things he was saying and I was
no, Geordie was the
laughing.
best character for me.
I agree.
Okay, so when they arrived in Barry's Bay in the TV show, Chantal wasn't supposed to be there. Geordie wasn't supposed to be there. Delilah wasn't supposed to be there. So those three side characters were in the show. And so they get to Barry's Bay. They check in and Percy in the show forgot her underwear, which was not a thing in the book.
No.
And I thought it was stupid.
It was so unnecessary.
Yeah. It felt like they were pushing and trying to make her like quirky, awkward, this. And I think that the reason they added that in is because they have all these random side characters that aren't supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And so they had to have like a bump in meet cute, you know?
It's a little awkward.
Exactly. And so I thought that the first, I don't know, let's just say 20 minutes in of the episode, watching that was painful.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, we're in for a long one on this one. Like, why couldn't you have lied and just said it was a prank on Chantal?
Something.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I'm running an errand for someone. You don't.
Yeah.
Don't
but also, I don't mean to sound rude, but if this is supposed to be in today's day and age, prime it. Like Amazon
They had the Amazon Prime boxes.
That's what I'm saying. So like, why wouldn't you Amazon Prime it? So she runs into Delilah while buying the underwear, and then she also runs into Charlie. Now, this is the first time that we meet the actor for Delilah and Charlie. What were your thoughts on those portrayals?
Charlie is just much more attractive in my mind. I'll say that. Everyone's more attractive in my mind, except Delilah, because she didn't exist in the book as an older person. But Percy, I thought she'd be better. Whatever. Charlie is definitely not the most attractive person I've ever seen, but he's out of Percy's league. Modern day Percy. And Sam, something about his face just annoyed me. And I think it's his personality that added to it. But, and I told you this, that he reminded me of Cole Sprouse. So that really bugged me the entire time, because the way he talked was like Cole Sprouse, mostly. So, what did you think?
So, Delilah, obviously, I love her.
Yeah.
Hashtag Dorcas. But Charlie, I could not get past his lips. Why
that was
did he
me
keep
for
doing
Sam.
Trump lips? He kept being like, Percy, we said we weren't going to talk about this. Like, and I couldn't, and you guys couldn't see me, but I'm doing an impersonation of a duck face. Like, he just has Trump lips every single situation, and like has the thinnest lips I've ever seen in my life. But anyways, so I agree with you. I thought Charlie was more attractive than Sam, but I thought it was rough. Like, how much budget did you have for this, and why didn't you go elsewhere? Because in my head, when I was reading the book, when you're describing, Sam was awkward in the beginning, and then he ended up ripped. Like, absolutely shredded. Charlie was shredded the whole entire time. And that's why, like, they were like, oh, hot older brother. So when I saw the actors, I was just kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Sam kind of gave like Cole Sprouse lookalike vibes. I also couldn't get away from like, what do I know him from? What do I know him from? So of course I looked it up. So he was a Disney Channel star.
Yeah, which it shows.
Yeah. So I really think they went for Cole Sprouse lookalike because they chased him down from Disney, I guess. I have no idea.
Lord.
But I thought his acting was pretty rough too.
Everyone's. Not Delilah. Jordy was just like,
I loved Jordy.
You don't have to be a good actor to play that type of role. You just have to be like, you have to know how to deliver a line like that, and he did it well. So I'll give him that. But like, I was putting myself in their shoes in almost every conversation, and I'm like, imagine speaking to someone like they're speaking to each other. I can't do, like, when, what's her name? Sue? Is that the mom?
Yeah.
When it was her and Percy, like, later on, and she was like, you know what I do when I'm upset? I dance. And she turns on the disco ball. Like, no one's watching. Because no one is. And I'm like, shut up. Who talks like this? But I just think their acting was oh my God. When Percy did the stupid slow blink, do you know what I'm talking about? When it
before crying?
Before crying.
Yes.
Bad actors do this. This is like a sign of a bad actor, like a chronically bad actor. And then I have in my notes, I said, Miss Girl needs to chill with the Debbie Ryan lip biting, because she kept doing that. It was driving me insane. My God, I couldn't look at her. Like, she's pissing me off. Yeah. Sorry. I know I should be like, girl, like, oh, good job, girl. No. Yeah. And it's probably the director's fault. I'll blame it on them.
No, I think a lot of this was the directors and the writers' fault, because I also think the script just kind of sucked. The script had a couple of lines that were really great, and then a couple of direct copies from the book. Yes. I did recognize that, and I think they did a good job there of like staying true to it. But I agree with you in the fact that the dialogue fell flat a lot of the times, where I was sitting there thinking, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think that the actors did pretty bad, but I was sitting there and I was like, is it their fault though? Or do they have crappy lines? Because a lot of these lines, like, Cameron, how the heck am I supposed to look at you and be like, I always knew that it was you, but not now, but we're in Barry's Bay, and Barry's Bay, but Barry's Bay. Like, none of that made sense. What did you just say to me?
No, I do think it is probably the directors, because I mean, they're given directions to play. The writers and the directors to be like, okay, now do this with your face or whatever. Don't do that. Don't listen to them.
You don't look nervous enough. Can you bite your lip again?
Bite your lip. Actually, keep doing that. And then add a slow blink that no one has ever done in their life.
Okay. Anyways, so after the bump in of the buying of the underwear, Percy and Chantal go to the motel because their hotel is ready. And then they bump into Jordy. What were your thoughts? And how did this differ from the book and the fact that this didn't happen in the book?
So I as we know, as you guys know, we obviously love Jordy. So I loved this. I kind of wish I had like a Chantal to kind of be like that. Like, no, I said I wanted this amount of rooms. Why are you doing this? Like that kind of thing to like stick up for you. But it also annoyed me in the fact that Percy's like cowering in the corner, like, oh, I'm back in Barry's Bay. Like, shut up. Anyways, and then Jordy like forgets, you know, quote unquote, forgets, doesn't remember Percy. And that was hilarious. That was like one of my favorite scenes. And then Chantal was like, damn, he just pulled a me. Like, that was awkward. That was pretty good, I have to admit. Like, I loved that whole, like, I don't know. I loved it.
I loved it too. When they introduced him as Jordy, I was like, wait a minute. He wasn't even really relevant in the book.
No, not at all.
He was mentioned maybe 6 times.
Yeah.
Maybe. So when they walked in and he owned it, I just was sitting there being like, how do you own this motel? Like, where did this come from? And he said it was a family business. And I was like, no, it's not. I read the book. Like, what? But
whatever
I did.
You want, girl.
I was going to say, but I did love him. So I was choosing to ignore anything that was a plot hole related to that.
I did not
Because
care.
Also, if Jordy was around and he grew up in Barry's Bay, why wasn't he in any of the flashbacks? Except for when they got older. So,
because wasn't the first time when he was shown in the show their younger selves? Well, younger, but
at the party.
At the bonfire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was like, oh my God, you are the girl that can eat 12 pierogies.
Mm-hmm. And then she got pissed off. Which, I get it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Next we see Delilah and Charlie in the restaurant. And they are kissing and all up on each other. Mm-hmm. You learn that Delilah is married to like this really influential person during the run-in with Percy. And then now you see that she's like having an affair with Charlie and also trying to buy the tavern. And also the tavern is broken. And Charlie's trying to fix it. Charlie's in town from the hedge fund. So walking in on Delilah and Charlie and the tavern and the cell of the tavern. Because I do think that was a new element.
Yeah.
That wasn't in the book.
Big change.
Yeah.
Big change. I don't really care about that plot line. I just thought it was like, okay.
I was frustrated that they made Delilah all about men.
That's true.
I kind of wanted her to be all about men with Wit, and then Wit divorces her, and then she changes. I didn't see that from the end, and I can get into that later too. But I didn't love her and Charlie having an affair because I thought it was going to be a weird thing. But I do think that it was interesting to me, Charlie trying to take care of the tavern and update stuff while he's in town, in the fact of he wants to sell this to Delilah, make a nice payday, and then be able to move on from Barry's Bay, because I truly do think that Charlie didn't want to come back. And I think in the book, it felt like Charlie was taking care of a lot more stuff than Sam was. But in the show, Sam was like, I've been taking care of the tavern. I've been taking care of Mom. I've been doing all this stuff. Did you feel similar, or what did you think?
I think Sam was just trying, like, and then, you know, the whole ice thing where it was like the freezer, the food was leaking and all these other things were wrong. And Charlie was like, man, what are you doing? And then he's like, well, I was taking care of Mom. What was I supposed to do? Which goes, I'll get to another point kind of similar to that, because he apparently can't handle more than one thing at a time.
Yeah, seriously.
But
which in the book, he multitasks like a king. Because in the book, she went to the tavern after she got there because she was alone, and she ran into him and just saw like all his muscles washing the dishes and everything like that. And I was like, that was such a better scene.
Yeah.
Like, why? Again, the TV show added too much, where I almost felt like the TV show felt like the book couldn't stand on its own. So they had to add so much more to it, as well as hype up the next season and keep the watchers watching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this was one of those scenes I felt that way, because I was like, of course they're pushing Charlie and like trying to show his struggle, because I know in the next book he's on struggle bus.
Sam.
But anyways, and then Chantal can't get Wi-Fi, and so she goes to the office, right? And she goes to talk to Jordy and everything.
Oh, and Jordy was taking a nap, and
yes,
she's like, what, you sleep on the job? And then she ends up taking a nap, and he's like, you sleep on a job? I just loved their dynamic, honestly.
See, I am such a yearning and witty banter person that unfortunately I will eat it up every time. And I think that, again, the story didn't stand by itself, so they needed a romance within it, because no one was rooting for Sam and Percy.
Nope.
I mean, my husband wasn't even rooting for them at one point.
Guava wasn't rooting for them, maybe not ever.
Yeah.
Like, Jordy's personality is like the personality.
Well, I also think that Jordy is the dream personality of like your husband's best friend or like friend in the friend group, because you want someone silly and fun, but you also want someone who's going to be thoughtful.
Yeah, and he's just everything.
Yeah.
Get Jordy his own show and
Seriously,
his own book.
I justice for Jordy, because I thought the same thing. But again, here's the issue. What is she going to write the book about? Because in the book, he was obsolete.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So it's like, write a book for show Jordy, but ignore all the other canon that was established in previous books.
It's tough. That's why she should have had him more in the book.
Yeah.
Same with Delilah.
Yeah. But anyways, we flash forward. Sam and Percy are, I would say, amicable when they interact together.
Mm-hmm.
And then it starts to get like sexual tension. And I found those really painful to watch.
Yeah.
And I found that the acting and the dialogue in those scenes were really painful as well. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot this, but this makes sense within this timeline as well. They changed Percy to be from an editorial writer to an obit. Yeah, so she got switched from an editorial to a obit writer.
Mm-hmm. Her and Chantal in the book worked together.
Versus Chantal being a lawyer.
Yeah. So, which we know how we feel about her being a lawyer.
Objection. Sustained. Anyways.
Execute. I don't know.
So I think that sexual tension scenes, they were supposed to be steamy and hot and heavy, and I didn't get that at all. It was painful to watch. It was really hard to get through. And I just didn't find myself rooting for them at any point.
No, me neither.
Which is so funny, because on the other side, in the book, I was rooting for them a lot. But the biggest qualm that I had with the book was that Sam kept putting the guardrails in of like, I don't want to ruin this. Like, dude, you kissed her. Like, what? You know what I mean? And I just found that the show did Percy so much dirtier within the relationship, because in the book, she had Mason. So she was like, okay, you don't want to be with me. I'm going to be with other people. Mm-hmm. And I thought that made her more likable. Because it kind of showed that, like, I understand that you don't want to be with me, but I'm not going to wait around. And I also appreciated how much she was like, well, I don't think I really like him, but, like, I want to be a part of this. I want to be doing that. Like, she was trying. Mm-hmm. She was trying her best to, like, move on and forget. Mm-hmm. And in the show, I just felt like she was painfully there every single time, where to me, it just built up Sam being a jerk.
Yeah.
Like, Sam was so much more of a jerk in the show than the book because of that. And it was like, no, still here waiting for you. And then he didn't want to date her, and then he dated Lake.
Yeah.
So I just think that, like, there was really no point where I was rooting for them in the show.
Nope.
In the book, when they finished watching this scary movie and she was scared and they ended up, like, she ended up sleeping over at his house, I literally was sitting there as a fantasy lover, like a romantasy lover. I was like, one bed at the inn, one bed at the tavern. I was like, here it is.
Guava and I were laughing at the fact that, you know, he has like a double bed in his room. And she goes, we can share. Look, it's enormous.
Oh my God, I know. So again, dialogue and script being very YA.
It's like very.
Anyways, which I'll come back to that in a minute. But anyways, so with the kiss there, I just thought that made me happy in the book. Like, I loved it. I loved how it was executed. In the show, I thought it was fine. Just fine, and I meant that. But again, I think that at that point, I had so much frustration with how the patrols were going and, like, how all of it was being done that I was just like, I don't even care about you guys anymore. Like, I cared more about Jordy and Chantal at that point.
Yeah.
So anyways, I do want to give a humble mention to one of the flashbacks when Delilah was there, and Delilah was like trying to flirt and everything. And this was like the middle piece where like they weren't kind of together, but they kind of cared about each other, but they didn't know, whatever. It was Charlie was in the water with Anita and was like, you could be our third.
Yeah.
And I just thought that he was so funny, but he was constantly hitting on her.
Yeah.
So like, again,
what was the age difference?
He was always, I think, 2 years.
Oh, okay.
It gave like 2 years older of like, you're a sophomore, he's a senior.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Another piece that was different and didn't happen in the book was Chantal's fiance came down and he was sick and he was just kind of relying on her. And this did not occur at all in the book. Like, Chantal did not make it to Barry's Bay, and she was not a part of any of this. And so I thought that this like side plot piece was just weird. I understood why they needed it because obviously they were pushing Jordy and Chantal together. So I understood where it was coming from. But I think that this was just, again, it was not needed.
A lot of it was not. Like, it,
Yeah.
8 episodes, each being
50 minutes.
50 minutes. And the book was less than 300 pages. And half of these characters barely existed in the book. Like,
Exactly.
you're literally just making up another show at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
A book adaptation? Like, come on. No, it's not.
Yeah. None of it needed to happen.
In the book, we like Sam. Sam's fine. Whatever. I mean,
I do think he pushed her away too many times. I'll own that in the fact that like this was a pattern, because that comes back in my opinion later. So I'm going to establish this now. Ladies and gentlemen, we've said it. It is a pattern. It has been a pattern, and we're not even at the end yet. Go ahead.
It is like, that's what I'm saying. He can't multitask. He has to go to college or has a summer intensive, you know, say whatever. He can only focus on that. He's like, I can't make time for you. It's too difficult. Bye. And then all of a sudden he has a little bit of free time and he comes crawling back like, oh my gosh, Percy, like, can we please, like, I love you. I realized my time away from you. I love you.
And this is the show you're speaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love you. Come back to me. And then same thing happens again and again and again and again. And so it just pissed me off how it's like also breaking up over email.
So that was synonymous the whole way through. Breaking up over email.
Yeah. And then that one girl that was on the phone, it
Joe.
happened in different ways, I think.
Yep.
But it was same sentiment.
I think the difference was like, oh, he's going to get us beers versus like, oh, he's so drunk right now, I don't think he can talk.
Yeah.
Which that in the book, if I heard that as a girlfriend,
no,
you're dead.
No.
Yeah.
But so that just kept pissing me off. And if my boyfriend broke up with me over email and I heard a girl on the phone in the same night or close to each other, whatever, I probably would have gone and hooked up with Charlie too. I probably would have gone and done that because I would have been, and I, you know, that's not a good thing, but you're over here like acting like I need to be here waiting for you all the time because you can't use your small little brain to do more than one thing. You are like, oh, only school. I only have time for this. Oh, but Percy. No. So that pissed me off. And it's like, yeah, she probably shouldn't have slept with Charlie. But like, he was the only person there for her at the time. And it's like, who else is there in Barry's Bay? So that kept pissing me off.
My take on the whole situation, I have a very strong stance. So again, in the book, it was very much, you know, Percy was just absolutely miserable, which is embarrassing for you, girl. Charlie notices this and was like, no, like, let's, you know, again,
it's your last summer.
Let's get this together.
Yeah.
Which in the book, they swam the lake versus in the TV show, they fixed the boat. But I mean, same. I don't think that was that big of a deal. I probably think that she was like, I don't want to film that much swimming. Like,
yeah.
So I was okay with that change. But the thing that the TV show didn't capture enough, in my opinion, is the relationship between Charlie and Percy. Again, he always cared for her. He saw that she was down. He saw that his brother was being a jerk. I mean, Charlie multitasked women the whole entire time. Like, you can't tell me that Sam can't do it. Plus, long distance, like, she said she was calling him on the dorm phone and everything like that. Aren't we today's society? Why doesn't he have a phone? Like, the years didn't add up for me.
No.
So, but that is a plot hole, whether it's book or TV show. So I'll own that one. Whatever. Fine. However, I think that Charlie was being such a good sport about this. He was supporting her. He would show up for her to get her before work with the boat, drive her to work, drive her home, and not say a word. Like, he was just a constant supporter and was stable when she was looking for stability. When every single time Sam left.
Yeah, he was always standing up for her to Sam.
Exactly.
So it's like, how are you not gonna?
And so to me, to love someone is to love them in the quiet moments.
And constantly.
And so when Sam broke up with her via email, she called and a woman was there. If I was Percy in that moment, you were dead to me.
Yeah.
I'm done. So you want to know what? It doesn't matter that I screwed your brother.
That's what I'm
saying. I'm going
to
say it. But the one thing that Percy needed to realize, once you make that decision, you can't go back.
Yeah.
So I, in her age, in my angsty 17 destructive era, I would have totally screwed Charlie and just would have said, you're dead to me. And I would have told him. I don't care.
That's what bothered me.
Because I would have said, now, don't get me wrong. If Charlie was like, hey, this is really going to ruin my relationship with my brother, I'd really prefer you don't tell him. I'd be like, sounds good. Charlie, he's dead to me too. So I don't want to go back to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the kicker is that it's not that she slept with him, it's that she slept with him and then wanted to go back to Sam.
Yeah, because
you shouldn't have done that.
How long after that did Sam like come back and propose to her in the book?
I want to say it's Christmas in the book. It's either Thanksgiving. No, it's Thanksgiving. Because she kept saying like, oh my God, the Thanksgiving it happened.
Yeah.
So theoretically, rock with me here because timelines have been shaky this whole entire time we've been talking because it is such a back and forth book. Yes, it's very confusing. But she had sex with Charlie in August, assuming that she's about to go to college. So it'd be late July, early August because college always goes pretty early. And then in November. So that's what, 3 months?
Yeah. And that goes with my point. He has a second to think about something else. Back to Percy. I'm going to propose after however long.
I feel really strongly as someone who my relationship developed within long distance. I mean, we were together for a summer. Yeah. And then I went to college and we had to make it long distance. There's a way to develop yourself and be your own independent person while you're doing it.
That's why I feel like we can both speak on, like, I mean, mine wasn't like long distance, but like, I mean,
yours was long distance. Yours was the same distance as mine.
Yeah. But that's why I think I can talk on this because it's not that hard. But like, if you care about this person,
you make it work.
You do anything to make it work.
Well, and you also, what you do, and part of it is learning that you will have independent times where you can't see them. There's so many things that you can do. I mean, take it from like so many of the romantic-y books or whatever. They like write letters to each other or they do all this weird stuff. They like appear through thin air with magic. Okay, it's not the same, but FaceTime? I blame Sam. Again, everything gets hard and he like abandons it. And it's like he was trying to set up this world where he had like this perfect life and it was, you know, the perfect wife and like she'll stay there and she'll wait until I'm done with this. Dude, you're going off to med school. It's going to be 8 years. You want me to wait 8 years until you and I can be together? I can't be here cheering you on throughout that. Like it's just disrespectful to Percy.
I know. And that's like, in those times I was like, okay, I feel bad for her. But then she'd do something and piss me off, so then it would go away. But
I don't feel bad for her in the fact that she should have advocated for herself a little bit more.
She definitely should.
Like, I think that you should, because the only time she stood up for herself was when she went out with Charlie and then decided to screw him.
Like, why do you
That's
think
your one moment you decided to stand up for yourself?
Like, why does she think this keeps happening? It's because you're not saying anything and you're just letting him crawl back to you anytime. And you're like, oh, okay.
Exactly.
I love you, so whatever.
So I didn't like Sam. I was rooting for her to get with Charlie.
I was
the whole entire time because again, I am someone who values consistency and stability. And like, yes, don't get me wrong, he was a flirt, but like that's how people test out the waters to be like, do you like me?
Yeah.
Do you not like me?
And
you know
it's just like that's just his personality. That's just how he is. And it's like he's a good man at his core, like taking care of Sam. I love my man Charlie, but like taking care of Sam without him knowing it. See, quietly. He doesn't have to be here flaunting it.
Yes,
but like Samuel pisses me. And then so back to the proposal. Yeah, in the book, well, he didn't propose in the show, but the way he reacted, crazy. How is that justified? How he acted in the show, like him going and getting a baseball bat and breaking the bench because 10 years ago, because it was 10 years in the show, 10 years ago, his brother decided to sleep. Well, it was consensual. They both decided to sleep with each other. And he got so pissed off, which like I understand, but him being like, after the funeral, I never want to speak to you again. I never want to see Percy again. I'm leaving. You better leave. I never want to see any of you ever again. In like, I understand that hurts, but that's 10 years ago. You just broke up with your girlfriend that you were about to propose to.
That's a whole other thing, yeah.
Why are you this pissed off? You guys weren't even together in this moment.
Yeah.
Like, what? And you had broken up with her over email, and then she called you, and then he pissed me off. I was like, why is he reacting like this?
Yeah.
He's such a child. He's a man-child.
In the show and in the book, I had two different reactions.
Yeah, because you handled it much better in the book. Because you didn't see the...
No, I don't agree with that.
I mean, I think he did. I think it was like, because he found out 3 months after. And he got all upset and everything, and it's like,
No. Let me run this back for you. Let me show you why this does not add up in Claire's head. In the book, she slept with him in August. He proposed in November. She said no. That was the event that broke things, right? Then Charlie told him, hey, I think she said no because we slept together. He lost it. He started drinking. He started doing all these things. In the book, he hit on Delilah. Delilah told Percy, and that's why Delilah and Percy stopped being friends, is because Percy was like, he'd never do that. Whatever. Fast forward. They, after the funeral, decide that they love each other and that they want to be together and this, that, the third. And then they have sex on his childhood floor. And then she tells him, and then he loses it again? You had your opportunity 10 years ago. Percy just found out that you knew the whole entire time? I'm sorry. I'm tired of the miscommunication tropes. You guys are almost 30.
That
when they're
older,
so frustrating.
I agree. That doesn't make sense. But I mean, I feel like if I had just proposed to someone and they're like, no, I slept with your brother 3 months ago. Like, I mean, I'd probably go crazy. But
100%. I
don't
agree.
I don't think he handled it well when he was older.
No, I thought it was so ridiculous that he had this like huge reaction, like he was finding out for the first time when he already knew.
And it's just
up a wound. Ew! I don't give a fuck. Are you like, you weren't gonna tell me that you knew?
Yeah, that. Okay, another thing in the show is
there are so many aspects of this relationship that are toxic that I'm like, maybe you guys shouldn't get together. Maybe this should break you. Maybe
Samuel
you should stop.
Can't handle anything more. He just can't handle anything. But like, in the show, it didn't make sense to me how he didn't know why she left in the first place.
Yeah.
She just up and left, and then they didn't.
So he came back early for summer, before summer ended. They sat on the dock.
Yep, and he was like,
he didn't propose.
Yeah.
He just said, let's get back together. She said no, and that was the break.
And that was it. And she left, and they didn't speak. Like, did they speak?
No.
During that? Yeah. So that doesn't add up to me. Why is he not
reaching out to her?
Well, he's not mature. I mean, he's immature. So I guess that makes sense.
Well,
but it's like, why is he not like, Charlie, do you know anything about this? What's going on? In 10 years?
That's also, you spent all summer with her. Do you know what, like, did I do something? Is this the last straw? Because I think that's what he thought was, this is the last straw.
But it's like, I don't understand why. I mean, he's stupid.
He's so dumb.
I guess that's like an argument on his end. But to me, that like saying like, no, we can't get together. I'd be like, why? Like, what? What's with this? Like, I know I did something bad, but like, I'm here apologizing. Like, what's happening? Whatever. We're done.
And I think that, again, that goes to show like he was not following up on it. Because I think if he kept, again, we're talking in the show, if he kept coming back to her and being like, hey, I know you're upset with me, but like, I saw this movie and I thought of you. Like, again, loving her quietly, I feel like that would have made a difference. But again, obviously it's based on the book, and the book, that's what happened. So it couldn't do it. But I just think that, like, to me, the way it was navigated in the book really threw me off, and it lost a lot of stars for me just in that sense, because it just felt so possessive and gross in the fact that, like, you already knew this, so why couldn't he just sat there and shown that he grew and had this beautiful personal development and was like, I appreciate you telling me that, but I knew. Charlie told me, and it hurts me a lot, and I really don't want to have this conversation again. So let's clear the air and let's talk about what we need to talk about. But I want to get over this and I want to move on with you. Like, the fact that you knew and she had to figure that out and then ran. Charlie took her car. Again, we're talking book. Charlie took her car so she couldn't leave or whatever. She ran over to her house and then had a panic attack and like passed out, and he had to carry her back and put her in the bed.
That kind of side tangent. Another thing I wrote in my notes in the show, when they were like locked in the like shed thing, yeah. And she like starts having a panic attack, and he's like, what was that? And she's like, a panic attack. And I said, why is she acting like panic attacks are like an underground indie band? Like, you don't know. You don't even know them. Like, you wouldn't know. They're so underground, like panic attacks. I was getting so annoyed. As someone who has panic attacks and can talk about that.
Yeah.
It's like, I get you have to act and everything, but like, panic attack. Debbie Ryan. Yeah. She's Debbie Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
I agree. I thought the panic attacks were almost like fantasized a little bit.
They were.
Like, it felt weird where I was like, no, you don't like this. Because I remember, I don't know if you've ever had this, so feel free to confirm or deny. But something I wrote down about the book is, why was she always talking about her upper lip sweat? So weird. Which I apparently that's a symptom of panic attacks. I feel like sweating all over, but like not specifically my upper lip. I have a spicy honorable mention.
Okay.
My honorable mention is I did not like how Carly Fortune wrote any of the sex scenes. I thought that for a romance author, you need to be able to execute on something, and I want the reader to read that and finish reading that and close the book up for the night and be like, that was hot.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that way. I was excited when they got in the bed together and it was like the first time they were like gonna kiss or whatever, like the first time they were that close to each other or whatever. Loved that. The anatomy, I thought that Sam got game out of nowhere, which felt weird. I think the execution in the show was not as good. I do think in the book like it was better.
Yeah.
And then I thought the sex scene with Charlie and how it was done, I felt like we kept talking about things that we didn't need to be talking about.
Yeah.
She was like, he caressed me up my unshaven legs and he licked up my unshaven legs and said, I don't care, girl. Like, I'm sorry. If somebody has the fear of throwing up, I can't help it because I am gagging over here.
God. I can't. I actually
do you remember that?
I do, and I try not to. But one thing I literally have written down is just the way, like you were saying, the way she would describe things that were so unnecessary. Like the one scene, this was different in the show. So they go on the run and they're like, oh, let's go jump in the lake or whatever. And she like strips.
Yeah.
And Carly Fortune is like, I'm wearing a pink thong and Sam is looking at me and he has a massive erection. And I was reading this and I was like, this better not be in the show or I'm gonna freak. Like I can't continue. And it wasn't. She was wearing her granny panties, which is good for us. I'm just like, why are we making this weird?
See, I was actually upset that it wasn't in the show. But here's the thing. Let me be very clear because everyone's gonna be like, Claire? We know you like romantasy, but this is taking it a bit far. I think that it should have just been like her stripping down. She has a thong on. She jumps in and she's like, oh my gosh, are you coming in? And his face is just like wide-eyed of like, she's so beautiful. She's so sexy. Like,
it could have been done like that.
Exactly. Of like, he was shocked.
Yes.
And she's like, Sam? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm coming.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I wish it was that instead of like, he had a massive erection.
Exactly.
And he was like, turn around so you don't watch me jump in.
Yeah.
Ew.
Don't look at me.
Yeah.
Actually, look at me.
I also don't like when people like make it a thing about your boner. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Don't
like,
make it a thing.
Just act like, oh my God, like he wasn't saying anything. Like,
yeah.
Does he like what he sees? Like, what's going on?
Exactly.
Like,
he
I
was
want
shell-shocked.
that.
Yes.
Not, he has an erection. Okay. Jump in the water. Nothing happens for 5 million years. I usually like a slow burn.
Yeah.
But this was too
frustrating.
Like, this was not even a slow burn. Like, what was this?
I also have another mention that it kind of grossed me out. As an adult reading this book, and this was an adult book, to be clear, when they were talking, and I don't know if you remember this one specifically, it was in a flashback. But they were talking about wet dreams in her period. I'm sorry. I felt like a pervert as an adult listening to two kids having this conversation.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like I don't need to be here.
I remember this, yeah.
I don't need to be here. And it just felt really weird. And I felt like he was pressing her like a dad on like, you know, honey, you should probably have your period by now. You're turning into a woman. It's not weird. It's not anything you should be embarrassed about. You know,
yeah.
We should celebrate your womanhood by going out for ice cream, kiddo. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just felt gross.
Yeah.
And as an adult reading this, I felt like it was illegal. Another sex scene. Let's just talk about sex for a minute here. Anyways, the morning of the funeral, when they had like that rub-a-thon in the car, that was such a letdown. Like, I was embarrassed that he finished in his pants from just that.
Was that the same time that was because Taylor was at the funeral?
Yeah.
Taylor was at, yeah. I remember because then she was like, huh, I just made your ex-boyfriend come in his pants.
That's not a humble brag, honey. That's embarrassing on him.
Oh my God.
He should have been able to like think about things that deterred that. That's embarrassing. As a grown adult, don't get me wrong, like if that happened when they were younger, okay, fine, you're still learning, like those types of things. But you're talking about like this fine specimen. He runs every day. He works out. He takes care of his body. You get in the car for like what, 30 to 45 minutes having a makeout session, like a couple of high schoolers, and he's finishing in his pants. That's embarrassing.
His mom's funeral.
I bet Charlie wouldn't have that happen.
Charlie can hold his own.
And she would know.
And she would know, and she should have stayed with it.
Anyways, that didn't sit right for me. But anyways, I just found like those scenes to be unbearable, where like it's not even like the sexual tension and the yearning is coming in. I had to strategically forget things in their relationship to like even an ounce want to ship them.
I would have had to have a lobotomy.
Yeah.
Because I hate both of them together.
Yeah.
And I hate Sam on his own in any form.
Yeah.
Samuel, get out. Like, usually it's like you read these books and you're like, oh, this is so cute. Like, I'm feeling this. Like, not once did I care.
Never. I didn't care about them either. And again, like I said, I really think it probably would have been better if she told him, no, I don't want to be with you anymore. I spent the summer with Charlie, and Charlie was consistent and this and that. And, you know, I really like him. And I think that you and I just don't work, and it has been a pattern.
Yeah.
And I also think that, like, when Charlie kissed her, she should have pivoted.
Yeah.
But anyways, going back to show differences, because I know we had to have the debrief about the major plot point. But going back to the show and how it was different, what did you think about the conflict that kept postponing Sam and Percy from doing the deed? Was Delilah getting pregnant?
Well, I thought that was stupid because, I mean, for a lot of reasons. But it's like, I get they're young and they're like, oh my God, what if we get pregnant and you're using a condom? Like, I feel like that's just like how young people think. Like, we're still going to get pregnant. And it's like, you're just using that as a band-aid because y'all are both little wimps. And so they're just like, oh, Delilah got pregnant. We're going to get pregnant. Let's not do it. Okay. Like, oh, because Sam keeps saying, I don't want to ruin what we have. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it. Samuel, you ruin everything by just existing. Sex isn't going to do anything. Saying your boyfriend, girlfriend, that's not going to do anything. Everything's already ruined.
I was frustrated that they put Delilah through that. I understand because they needed a conflict, but like, why
that whole thing, like Percy not being there for her and being like, oh, I'm
that was so frustrating.
Like, I understand she's young. I have to keep reminding myself, like, she was young. How would you act as a teenager? But it's like, you can tell something is up with her. Like, how are you not like,
well, the thing that really got to me, and I think they tried to show it in the show of like she was there for her then, but I just feel like Percy has been selfish her whole entire being. So like, I don't know, which is so interesting because in the book, Percy wasn't as bad, I don't think. And Delilah was really selfish. So in my head, I was like, why did they paint that like that?
I don't know.
Again, why did you decide to put all this money into a show where the main couple, no one's rooting for them, and the main characters are insufferable?
That's why you just move on to One Golden Summer, because this sucks.
In the show, when he found out that they slept together, he went to the bar and he like disappeared.
Yeah.
And everybody had to go and find him.
And everyone was punching each other.
And then Chantal was there and then punched Geordie. Like, none of that made sense. I honestly, that was the point where I was like, I don't think I can finish this. And I just want all our listeners to know I was strong for you and I finished it for you to be able to give you this rating. But please don't watch this show. It's such a waste of time. I also thought that, like, when they got back in the car, well, they got Sam back in the car, and then Charlie was doing Charlie things. Chantal was trying to clean up Geordie, and they almost kissed. And it really frustrated me because I loved Geordie until that moment, because he gave Charlie so much for moving in on someone else's girl. And then 30 minutes later, he was about to do it with Chantal when he knew that she was engaged.
Yeah.
So to me, they added in that element, and I know they were doing it for tension and like this, that, the third, but that took away from Geordie's character. And that made me really angry because I loved Geordie until that point. Until that point. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. The soundtrack was stacked.
They had, like, it was literally like they took my playlist and just like put it in the show, because I was like, Fine Line in the final episode by Harry Styles, I was like, whoa. And they played so many Mumford and Sons songs, like not well known ones, and I was like, where are y'all, like, who are you? Let's be friends.
I was excited about it because they even did Noah at the very beginning. When she made a reference to that in the very beginning of the book, and I loved that. There was Twilight Zone by Ariana Grande, and I was like, this is recent. What?
Hello.
Exactly. I thought they did a great job. I thought that it was kind of stupid that you didn't get like a full scene, at least that I remember. Please correct me if I'm wrong, of her like telling him we slept together. Like it wasn't like a thing in the fact of one episode ended as I have to tell you something.
Yeah.
And then the next
yeah,
episode
yeah.
started of him having an issue. And then she was like, it was only one time. It was a long time ago. And like, I hated that.
Mhm.
The whole focal point of the
It
book
was-
was to hear that.
Yeah.
So why did you cut that out? Like, what?
I agree.
I'm so angry.
I think that was a miss for sure. But yeah, I mean the way, because how did it? I mean, it ended with Charlie on the floor or whatever.
Yes, but the way that her and Sam ended, like he came in and they just kind of like looked at each other and like just kind of, I don't know.
You're home. You came home.
That's it. After they have the fight and they say like, I'm done with you or whatever, she leaves. She goes back into writing and she gets back into writing and she publishes this piece and Sam somehow gets a hold of it and like reads it.
Oh yeah.
And then she was talking about how she's Persephone or whatever. And he was like, go and live your dream, Persephone or whatever. And like sent her the keys to the tavern.
Yeah.
She goes back. She opens the tavern. She has her friend. She has her support system. And then he, I believe, walks in. Is that what happened?
I don't know. Oh yeah. Because she was washing the dishes.
Yeah.
And turn around.
Okay, so what? But again, this is what I'm talking about. It's like they have so much within this relationship that like I couldn't even care to begin with because I knew you guys were just gonna the bed. The only other thing I think I was frustrated about was Delilah was excited about Jordy and then Jordy walked in with Chantal, which I even thought that was kind of silly.
Yeah.
I mean, I was happy to see them like together, but also at the same time them trying to figure it out and everything like that. I just think it's going to be weird unless Chantal is like there. But I don't know. Maybe he can multitask, unlike some people. But Delilah, to be upset that Jordy didn't like want to care for her, I was upset about that because I thought that the character, first of all, in the book, she was only brought back in after the fact because Percy was like, I'm so glad that I called Delilah and like apologized. And she was like at the party or whatever at the very, very end of the book.
Yeah.
But in the show, she didn't have like this whole arc with like wit. And I just would have loved to see her say like, no, I'm enough. The restaurant's enough. The work that I have and the purpose that I've put into my life is enough now. I'm good. Instead of being like, oh, Jordy doesn't like me.
Yeah.
Really?
It's always about a man. Like, why'd they make her do that?
One final thing. The New Year's Eve party that Percy's mom threw in the book.
Yeah.
The menu was fondue and Caesar salad.
Yeah.
What an awesome menu.
I know.
I was like, that's so random.
I know, but I'm here for it.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Give it to me.
I just remember that being so funny.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, and then champagne, of course. What a meal.
I'm like, bread, cheese, all sorts of things.
Yeah, that's a better.
And then Caesar salad.
That's more of a meal than Sam and Charlie combined.
Oh my God. So let's talk about overall ratings. I want you to rate the show, rate the book, rate something that the show did better, rate something that the book did better, and then what do you recommend?
So my rating for the show would be a very generous 2 stars. And I would give it 2 only because I finished it, saw the entire thing, every excruciating scene. But if I didn't finish it, I would have given it 1. What about you?
Probably a 1.5. 1 star for the fact that it was beautiful. I think that the location was really great. I thought that it gave the vibe of the lake that I was like following in the book. And then a 0.5 star for Jordy. I really liked his character. I really liked the portrayal. He was something I didn't know I needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I really enjoyed his character. Every time his character was on the screen, I was like, hee hee hee. So 0.5 star for Jordy.
Jordy is the only saving grace.
Yeah. Okay, book.
Book, I'll stick with my 3 stars. I don't feel very strongly about that. Like, now that I think about it, I don't know. Now I'm like, it's a 2, not above a 3. And I don't really have any good reasons for that, except, I mean, I could tell you why it wasn't above a 3. The steamy scenes, not very steamy.
Yeah.
Like you said, I agree with that. And just such, like, the writing is so YA.
Yeah.
And I can't get over that. So, what about you?
I think that I initially rated it like a 3.5, and I think that was way too high.
Yeah.
I did enjoy reading it at the time, but I think I did not realize how much she dropped the ball in a romance novel until I finished it.
Yeah.
It was almost like one of those, when you finish a book and then you race to Goodreads and you go to market and you go to write a review. I needed time. I didn't know how I felt about this one because I think that everyone's like, the cheating. I'm like, no. The fact that you disrespected yourself to go back to him.
Yeah, it's not the cheating.
It's not.
For me, that doesn't bother me.
Because again,
it's justified. I'm not gonna lie.
They broke up.
They weren't. So they were on a break.
They weren't together.
Yeah.
It wasn't cheating. It was sucky choice of person to do it with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are my thoughts. I think that right now I'd agree with you. I'm gonna keep it at a 3. Just because of those things. I think for romance, your steamy scenes need to be good. You need to root for the happy ending. You need to root for the couple instead of coming out of it being like, maybe y'all shouldn't be together. Like, I feel like if one of my friends, I sat down for coffee and she told me this story and I had to sit there and keep an even-keeled face because she said, and we're still together, I'd be like, I'm so happy for you that this is the love you think you deserve. But that ain't me, girl. That ain't it. So, anyways, long-winded way to say that the book is 3 stars.
Yeah.
One thing I really enjoyed in the book, and I think the book did better, was making Charlie human. I think that, I think in the TV show that like they just made him, I don't know, just like too much of a hard ass. And like in the TV show, it made it seem like he didn't care about Percy's feelings at all, which is not true. He grew up with this person. He thought she was cute. He thought she was smart. She was the coolest girl. And I feel like the first time he complimented her in the TV show was right before they slept together when he was like, you're the coolest girl I know. And I was like, no, that's not true. In the book, he took her out. He made sure she had all of the snacks. He took her to see one of her favorite movies. He was incredibly intentional. So, in my humble opinion, the TV show didn't do Charlie any justice, which is so funny to me because I would have thought they would have made him more likable so that people would want to watch the second season for Charlie.
What's that about?
I don't know.
That's a good point.
What's something the book did better for you?
I mean, when it ended.
The book?
When the book. I mean, I did like Barry's bait in the show was pretty.
Yeah.
They did that well. So that was good. But like, I guess I'll go with everyone was hotter in my head because the book did a better job of having the hot people. So hot people in the book because I couldn't see their faces, but I saw them in my head.
Yeah. Something that the show did better. Do you have something?
My answer is just Geordie.
Yeah.
Geordie and Delilah.
I was going to say side characters. I think that they fleshed out side characters more. The book truly was about Sam, Percy, Charlie. Like there was other random people, but they only came in every once in a while.
Yeah.
I think that Geordie and Delilah really added. I think I could have done without Chantal.
Yeah.
Or Chantal, excuse me.
That like love triangle was funky.
I think they could have gotten the job done with Delilah.
Oh, for sure.
And I think Delilah would have like realized Geordie's always there for her, this, that, the third. Like, I just didn't think Chantal was needed, especially when she, like, wasn't a part of this. Like, in the book, she was constantly texting and calling Percy being like, are you dead?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, all right, overall, what would you recommend? Would you recommend the show or the book to someone?
The book. It's over. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. It's quick. The show, painful. Painfully long. Too much going on. For very little reward. It ends with Charlie getting a freaking heart attack. My man Charlie. What do you mean? So I would recommend the book. Don't do the show. Just don't. I think I could guess what you were going to say, but
what am I going to say?
I would assume the book.
No, neither.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You have to choose.
No, here's the thing. The show was a waste of my time. I was extremely angry after it. I had to take a walk. I was that mad that you wasted my time for 8 episodes of 50 minutes. I can't do quick math, but I know that that's way too much time. The book also, I think I could have lived without reading it. Well, I just also think that the book, and this is something I didn't say before, I felt like they wrote the book for the adaptation. Something else that I was going to say is that I read The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I mean, all the same tropes are the same. Like, all the themes are the same. Yeah. And I just thought that this was such a cheap knockoff And then I also heard of another book, and I forget what the name of the book is, but it's by Christina Lauren. And this is exact copy.
Is it
of what that book
Love
is.
in Other Words?
Yes, it's Love in Other Words.
Mhm.
And I saw a lot of people being like, this is the same thing, it's an exact replica, like this is so stupid, except for they added in the cheating scandal, I think. So I thought it was very interesting how This Summer I Turned Pretty came out in 2021. This book was written in 2022, and then it got really popular. This Summer I Turned Pretty, the show, and everybody started following it, and now it's all of a sudden here.
Because Sam is basically Conrad. When you think about it. So
that's what I'm saying is I think that it was too much of a copy paste, and I am getting sick and tired of people writing books to get adaptations, because I mean, even when she was in the beginning of the book making like Noah Kahn references and stuff, which my bad, I thought she was talking about Stick Season versus Northern Attitude, which is funny.
Yeah.
But I just know that, like, to me, you are already hinting like, yeah, I have the actors casted, I have the songs casted, like we can turn this around real quick, you know?
Yeah. I think all of her books are literally, except Bungled in Summer doesn't follow the same like type of trope, at least from what I can remember, but all of her, well, I read one of her other books. It's like the same thing, just a different setting and like a slightly different like reason they're getting together. That's the issue. People are writing for tropes nowadays, and I do not like that. That's why I can't do romance anymore, because it's just trope after trope after trope. It's just reading the same thing with like different personalities.
I can only do certain ones, and those are the ones that make me giggle and kick my feet. So
they have to have like something so specific, and I don't know what it is, but it's not this.
Well, and I think that's really interesting, because I think one of the tropes you do love is childhood friends to lovers.
I do.
So I think it's really funny for you to say this specifically of like, you have wronged Cameron, guys.
Like this,
what did you do?
It just was not. It's just too basic. Like you have to do it in a different way, because this is just such an easy cop out.
I agree.
Of like, oh, we have a summer house on a lake, and there's this boy
and his brother.
So yeah, but if you had to choose, would you say the book? Like, if you are really interested in,
I would say the book, because I think that it gives you more opportunity than the show, and the fact that like I did love Charlie, and the fact that I cared about his well-being, and I think that I want to read the second book, so I think the book must have done something to merit writing a second. I have heard mixed reviews of the second book, so I am a little bit nervous, but
yeah.
So,
well, that sucked.
Any last thoughts?
That was my final thought. I don't want to think about this anymore.
I'm over it.
Over them. Bye, Samuel, forever.
Well, what did you guys think? Are you excited for it to be renewed for a second season? Let us know. As always, thank you for joining us. If you liked our podcast, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. We also have a Goodreads account for following along on what we're reading, planning to read, and what we have mentioned on the podcast. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.